Welcome to the Got Trauma Podcast with your hosts, Courtney K. and Monica Newland.
All right. This is just I guess, like, what do we want to call this? This is just like a little snippet from our conversation that we had in our last episode, which was you are going to do an oracle card reading.
Yeah, I'm
We're going to
on the
record it on the spot.
dream that I had last night. So when I read my oracle cards, this is I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. Oh, there it is. Anyways, these are my chakra oracle cards, and I absolutely love them. They're my favorite ones. I don't do I do my own readings my own way because that's how I was instructed I could do them, and I like that. So how I'll read these cards is I have 3 questions specifically I want answered about the dream I had last night. So the first question I asked was, what does the bear represent? And I pulled this card, and it's called the completion card, and it is based in I know this. I'm losing my thought process. So all these cards are based in the chakras, right? So this one,
chakras are different points of your body that represent different like energy points.
Exactly, yes. So the orange cards are, I believe these are the sacral.
Yeah.
Why can't I talk? I say things weird. Anyways, so this is I think it's a sacral. I believe it should be. Just sometimes it's like,
which is your hips.
That's, yeah, in your, basically that is the center point of emotion. That's your emotional body, sexuality, blah, blah, blah. So here's the bear. I want to know what the bear is. So orange cards they have different, so overall impressions, emotional. The key words are active, motivating, optimistic, emotional, sociable, enthusiastic, affectionate, humanitarian. The manifesting intention, the orange cards represent our emotions and how we relate to them. In the second chakra, you can learn emotional discipline if you choose. You need to master the skill of steering your emotions as you would a ship on the high seas. Sounds like about right.
Yep.
This is very important in manifesting. The orange cards reveal your emotional experience in a particular situation. If you are struggling with your feelings, look back on the red chakra, the root chakra, for the answer. Why? Because your source of emotional experience from a particular foundation or belief, isn't that interesting? Belief created in your root chakra. This helps you to understand where your emotions are coming from. Next, observe your feelings rather than act on them. And your angels can speak directly to you through the emotions revealed in these cards. However, you must stand fearlessly and observe your emotions. If you can do this, you can begin the journey into manifestation. You can walk the path you have previously only wished for. Master emotional discipline, and you master how you manifest anything. So
Very cool.
Interesting. So orange cards at a glance, basically it gives you, there's, I believe, 7, obviously there's 7 cards in each chakra, right? So this one is...
There's 7 chakras.
Exactly.
Yeah.
7 main chakras, but there's 7 cards in each color.
Okay, gotcha.
Sort of, yeah, I think there's actually maybe more than that. This one only in particular has 7. So anyways, this one is, I picked up completion. So final sunset. Here in the warm and cheerful energy that brings calm to the ending, making a poignant, not sad, something is taking place outside your comfort zone. So step into the emotional grace of completion. There is no drama here, only resolution. So this is what the bear is representing.
Right. And that's so fitting because you had this dream last night and then we talked about mother wounds today in our episode.
Yeah, right?
That sounds about right.
I love having these. I just find so much, I don't know, clarity.
Perspective, yeah. Clarity for sure.
So completion, final sunset. A life comes to a spectacular close. All right, so there's always legends about these cards. Like, these are how does she describe them? She describes these people basically as like prophets, and they came to her, and this is how she evolved this oracle deck. It's really,
Okay.
really neat.
That's how she's come up with these sort of
Yeah,
scenarios.
her name is Tori Hartman.
Cool.
Yeah, she's a really, really interesting lady. And okay, so flashlight because I'm old and can't see. It says the legend. He was raised in an orphanage and never wore new boots until he enlisted in the army in 1942. By the end of the war, he was a decorated veteran and had survived what many of his brothers had not. Later, he became an actor. He was well loved, but history will remember him as a war hero. When he was finally laid to rest, Goddess smiled upon him as she received him into the heavens. Inspiration. This is a reminder to cherish all the beauty in your life, including endings. Reflect upon your part in history and discover what you value most. Don't fear completion, embrace it.
Oh,
Yeah. Personal inquiry. Am I present in the moment? How do I respond to the idea of completion? Which is really interesting because I do think completion for me means death.
yeah.
Right? So probably maybe that's what the bear represents, is that, you know, I look at everything as an attack where, I don't know. I had something, but then I lost it. Anyways, key ideas. Honoring your legacy, a natural ending to a grand adventure. Now, how interesting is that? Because we just talked about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
About me putting my old self to bed and waking up to this new person. So it's really interesting.
Yeah.
So a natural ending to a grand adventure, a new beginning on the horizon, a new adventure, honoring those who gave it to us. So then keywords are achievement, determination, fulfillment. And then at the bottom, there's always a little bit of a meditation that to kind of bring your card into perspective, like for yourself.
Nice.
Become sort of more, connected.
Yeah, so you can
connecting with it.
sit with it. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So
that was your first question.
My first question was, what did the bear represent? So to me, when I break that all down and I look at that, the bear represents, to me, basically my fear of completion, my fear of stepping into my next better
phase
self.
Of life, or
right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably because I am one of those people who's so used to the shoe always dropping that I have a hard time understanding that death doesn't always necessarily mean the end.
Yeah, or bad.
Exactly. But that's how it's always been sort of relayed to me.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of that's a relationship I've developed with things of this nature. So that's, but to me, it is indicating that I need to take a step back and look at that and really just trust the process and trust that everything is, once I let it go, everything will fall into place as it's supposed to. That's what that means for me. And then I can start manifesting better.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm a little too obviously stuck in some old habits, which it happens. So the next question I want to know is what the dog represented, because there was a dog. Every animal in the stream was attacking something or someone.
Okay, so I don't even think you mentioned the dog.
Yeah, so there was a dog, and the dog tried to attack my dog, and then I ended up killing this dog, which it made me sad. I don't like killing animals. Yeah. It's not my thing. But again, like, what did the dogs represent? So when I do these, I shuffle them until one pops out, because it always does. And that's just what happens. Usually one falls out or it flips.
So your dream was that you were together with people and then the bear was attacking?
Yeah, so the dream was
Mama bear and her baby bears.
Mama bear with the baby bears. And in this house, all the doors were flimsy. They had no locks on them. Okay, interesting. They had no locks on them, and so the bears could just come in whenever they wanted. There was like no safety on this property. There was nowhere to be safe. And it was like the bear was eating people. So there were like 7 people we didn't really know that were there. And they ate those people. And then finally, Haley and I escaped. And I had to leave everybody there because I had to go get somebody from the M&R to come and get rid of the bears. And there was a dog.
Very practical.
Yeah, right.
The practical element of the dream.
Yeah. excuse me. So there was that, and then the other part was, so there was the dog, and then there was a wolf. But the wolf was just sheerly in presence. It had nothing. It didn't do anything. It was just there. It was a big wolf, though. So next card I just pulled is actually in the heart chakra.
Okay.
And this one's called Trickery, which is interesting. So when I asked what the dog represents, this card I pulled says Trickery. So let's see. So discover the wisdom of the heart. So overall impression is love. Keywords: balance, harmony, brotherhood, hope, growth, healing, love, peace, prosperity. Manifesting intention. The fourth chakra, the heart chakra, relates to matters of the heart. In manifesting, we are always blocked if our heart is not in it. There's something very pivotal about every green card, as though each one indicates a key moment of personal choice. They tell us about the heart of the matter. In this chakra, we decide whether we will proceed or whether things will get kicked back to our yellow chakra, where we spend time thinking without processing our decisions. So yellow chakra being the solar plexus. In essence, you will see here whether your heart is truly invested in the actions you are willing to take. Every green card owns the distinction of revealing what happens when you do or don't follow your heart. The question these cards ask: what does your heart tell you? Okay, so interesting. So Trickery is what I pulled. So Trickery. This is Kelly the Green Dragon. Notice here that there may be manipulation because of a fear of being rejected. Oh, have we not been talking about this? Right? There is no evil intent, only a deep desire to be loved. This card may also indicate that you should practice asking your true heart's desire rather than fearing someone else's resentment. That one's pretty
accurate as well.
That's so funny. It's so interesting. So then Trickery, Kelly the Green Dragon. The temper is as guilty as the thief. Oh, sorry, the tempter, not the temper. The tempter is as guilty as the thief. Interesting. The legend, Kelly the Green Dragon has one jumbo-sized acorn to get him through the winter. Squirrel spies the huge acorn and decides he just has to have it. To win the forest's annual acorn contest. To tempt Kelly, he fills a basket with rocks and scatters the tiny acorns he has collected on the top. Kelly feels the weight of the basket and steals it, allowing Squirrel to grab the single acorn. But they both lose. Kelly now has less food, and the squirrel is disqualified from the contest for cheating. Interesting. Okay. Inspiration. During trying times, things may be easier if you ask for help. Don't be disappointed if assistance does not come from the place you expect. Interesting. Personal inquiry. Am I afraid to tell the truth? How does that fear make me manipulate others? Interesting. What do I really need to say? Isn't that interesting? Because I kind of get that. So key ideas: dance of sacredity, coveting possessions, vulnerable heart, self-honesty, accusing others, hidden motives. Interesting. Keywords are vision, honesty, and greed. That's interesting. There are definitely parts of this that I can kind of see where the dog came in. Because the dog was attacking, right? So, I mean, this kind of indicates to me that this is sort of, I think that there's times where when you're doing this kind of stuff, you sort of get caught up in, like with podcasting and putting yourself out there, you sort of get caught up in the popularity of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, when you're not getting as many views or as many likes or these things, you're kind of like, that's kind of where that little green guy comes in. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're taking away from the heart of what it actually is about. But I mean, that's the duality of being a human and having a soul.
Yeah.
You have an
Yeah.
ego, and you have, you
Of
know,
course.
those counterparts. So that's kind of interesting because that does make sense to me.
Yeah.
Just that rejection, because
The
you really
rejection.
feel,
Yeah.
you know, that when you're doing this kind of stuff, you really
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, even though you don't want it to be one of your main concerns, it can be, because you're really putting yourself out there, and, you know, for the world to see, and being rejected. Nobody likes to be rejected,
No, of course.
especially when you spent your entire life being rejected. You're like,
Yeah.
oh. So, but
Yeah.
it's
And I
a
mean,
good
that
learning curve.
spoke to like the manipulation and about how like what you would have experienced
Yep.
with other people manipulating. And then also that it pointed out that be careful that you're not doing that.
Well,
Which
exactly.
is, you can fall into that when you are not ready to be honest with yourself about
Mm-hmm.
things that you need to work on, or things that may have caused you to have certain tendencies.
Yep.
And you're learning through that. I don't know if manipulation's the right word, but I can understand how that can be a little bit misleading.
Yep.
Because if you're not going to do, you know, if you have these tendencies and you are not, you know, recognizing it and you're hiding that, and then these things come out,
Yeah.
being honest about your situation, where you're at, why you are the way you are, like those things tend to serve you better, in my opinion, overall. I know it's hard to do.
Absolutely.
It's fucking really hard.
I do get the level, like when they're talking about like emotional manipulation,
Mm-hmm.
because there have been times where I don't even do it intentionally. Like I do it mainly with, how to describe this, for instance, is I'll ask a question I already know the answer to.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I already know
Mm-hmm.
the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask you. And it generally tends to revolve around the different things, like mainly with my partner.
Okay.
So I get that. And it's because I just don't want to outright come out and say what I'm actually thinking or feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer to just sort of make him be the one to address it, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
So I can kind of
Mm-hmm.
see where that, and I mean, like, that is a level of emotional manipulation, because it's
Yeah.
like,
not
just ask your
very
fucking
fair, I
question.
guess.
Stop
Yeah.
being so passive aggressive,
Yeah, exactly.
which
Yeah.
I'm learning
Yeah.
and working through passive aggressive. So you know what? The dog maybe represents passive aggressiveness, and
Mm-hmm.
that it doesn't serve my heart space, and that I need to move through it and get over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that, I mean, this is why
I
these
feel
are
like,
fun, right? Because you do
yeah,
that,
I
and
feel
then
like
all
it's very accurate and relatable too. Like,
yeah, it's really interesting. You're just kind of like, okay, this makes sense.
mm-hmm.
So the very last question is, what does the wolf say? No, that's a fox. But anyways, you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So let's see what the wolf represents.
And sorry, remind me, what was the wolf doing? You said the wolf was
Nothing.
just
The wolf
there,
was just there. It was just a giant
just
wolf.
hanging out.
Just, yeah, I think its presence was ominous,
Yeah.
for sure, but it didn't actually do
Wasn't
anything.
threatening.
So I don't
Okay.
know.
So an animal that was not threatening, as opposed to the other scenarios with the bear and
And
the
a rogue
dog,
wolf
where it
would
was very
be
aggressive.
like, a rogue wolf would be definitely threatening, right? Like, wolves are less dangerous
That's
in
true.
a pack than they are on their own.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Huh.
I mean, that's sort of an interesting one.
Okay, I'm interested about this.
Let's see.
Yeah, see, like I said, I have lots of these animal dreams. That's why I'm like, do oracle card reading, because I feel like there's definitely something there. I don't know if we've ever done one together where I've asked you about the animals, but
No, you haven't. We did one when I came down and visited, but it was just about sort of like, oh, here we go.
It was more my health stuff and everything. Yeah, yeah.
Isn't
Okay,
that-
cool. What's this one? This one's
That
this
is
one?
funny. That's an interesting.
What chakra does this one relate to?
So this one relates to the crown chakra. I believe this is this. See, her colors are a bit different. Like, I think her colors for crown are gray.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Or am I wrong? Her colors, or maybe they're not for gray. Or sorry, I think they might actually be. Let me see, because I'm pretty sure. Give me a second. Like I said, I'm not very experienced in this. No,
this is just for fun.
Like I said, I just find this is what I like to do.
I like it. It gives perspective. It gives like some maybe like meaning to like some of the thoughts, the dreams, like the feelings that you're having and all of that. Like, I don't think you should live your life by these cards, but it does help make you get more confident decisions, I would
Yeah, well,
say.
exactly. I mean, to
It's
each
like
their own
psychics
for
and
sure,
stuff,
but I
right?
definitely, yeah. I mean,
It's cool.
I like this stuff. I do find that these are great tools, and
Mhm.
it all depends on your belief system, what you're comfortable with, right? Really, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, and I love this shit, so I
Yeah,
eat
and
it
fuck,
up.
have some fun, right? Like,
Yeah, and I mean, to me, I find it very validating. So, so
okay.
interestingly enough,
So we're talking about the wolf, and it's the crown chakra.
so we are in the crown chakra, but she refers to this. This is the seventh chakra to her is neutral, so it's gray.
Okay.
But interesting. Look at one I pulled. I don't know if you see that one. Rejection. Okay, so let's read about rejection. So rejection in the seventh chakra. So cards at a glance. Let's see. Rejection. Ivory Tower. You no longer need to prove yourself.
There's the final piece.
Oh my god, that's so funny. And I find it interesting that I pulled a gray card and it was a gray wolf. It was a big gray wolf. And it's asking about I'm asking about the wolf in the dream, so I find that very interesting. So Ivory Tower, you are no longer need to prove yourself. This is about understanding who you are and what you have created. Ivory allows others to see your life. Ivory allows others to into your life. Choose wisely. Interesting. Okay, so rejection. The legend. Did I read the right thing? Yeah, I did. Okay. The legend. So the rejection, Ivory Tower. They won't use me. Interesting. The legend. The artist is summoned for jury duty, but they won't use him. He doesn't fit their concept of what a juror should be. He paints pictures no one understands. He lives alone. They want somebody who will put himself in the other guy's place, but he will never do that. He doesn't get mixed up with anything or anyone. They honor his individuality when they invite him, yet when he appears, they reject it by not using him. Interesting. Okay. So the inspiration, you don't need to be on the on the inside track. Be true to yourself and you will not be unhappy. Rejection is spirit's protection. Okay. Personal inquiry. Why am I working or against my environment? Am I working with or against my environment? That's a pretty legit question. What is the purpose of my present solitude? Other keywords, others' approval, unsupportive environment, working alone, arrival of a teacher. Interesting.
This one's deep. I'm not gonna lie, it's difficult for me to understand.
It is. Keywords are protection, exclusion, development.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna put some terms on what it is that we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah,
that sums
absolutely.
up.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I kind of can see. So, basically what I'm kind of grasping out of this as far as this kind of represents that conditioning again. That sort of shedding conditioning. You are yourself, you're be yourself, be your own individual, and people will respect it until you bring it into their space, and then they're like, maybe I didn't actually,
Right.
maybe I'm not really that comfortable with what you have to say or what you're thinking, right? So I mean, that kind of relays that as far as the rejection factor goes, because I am talking so candidly about, we are about our lives and about these things. So, there's that rejection factor, and it's me being who I am, and some people are going to be, interested in it until it's just not comfortable for them, or it doesn't suit their, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And even in relation to our mothers, we have done a certain level of rejection to them.
Yep.
They have also done their level of rejection to us.
Yep.
And both are complicated.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But that is such a and just going back to, the mother-daughter wound, that is so delicate. It's such a delicate topic, a manner like that. It's yeah. So I'm not surprised I'm confused by this oracle card reading, but I do, now that you're breaking it down, I do understand that concept for sure.
Yeah, I do like there's this
And
is
like your own personal rejection against your feelings and like
yeah.
your own like how I guess your own rejection against I shouldn't be feeling like that. I shouldn't be wanting this. I shouldn't be desiring that.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do I even want to have a new person, like create a new life for myself? Like I don't even want that. Why do I feel like I need to reinvent myself? Like we talked about closing the old chapters of our life, stepping into a new life and how beautiful that can be. But even like wanting that desire to do that, you feel like, well, I should be happy with what I have. This doesn't feel comfortable to be able to want that, to desire that.
Well, it's interesting because like what does I'm just curious just to like because I find it interesting like that the card was gray, it's about rejection, the wolf was lone. Most wolves that are alone are rejected.
Yeah.
From their pack, right?
Yeah.
So what's
all very much
so
like the message seems very aligned.
It does. All right, I'm just going to look up what does lone wolf mean.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is we might lose some people on this, but we might gain some that find this interesting, right?
It is a little bit of a different spin on I think like the whole being open to like new perspectives, whether that be through Reiki or through like oracle card readings or like spirituality or like yoga or like just in opening yourself up to new experiences, whether they align to you, overall or they don't. I think it's a good thing to do and to continue to, open up yourself. Actually, the thing that I posted today on social media was about that. And it's like, make sure that you are always, I think, maintaining that openness to people, to scenarios and to experiences. So this is oracle card reading, something we don't usually do or talk about or have really no bearing on our podcast.
It's funny because it's something that I do like. I do love all this stuff. I'm definitely like this is these are my aspects of spirituality that I take on. I love oracle cards. I love psychics. I love Reiki. I love paranormal. I love all that stuff. I find it all very interesting, and I mean I find it very relatable to me. I find a lot of comfort in it. Mm-hmm. So it's not a defined denomination or what have you. Like to everybody, to each their own. Whatever makes you happy, whatever works for you, whatever you feel comfortable with, right? Yeah. I mean, whatever resonates. That's our new like word. We should just like
we're all about alignment. What resonates with you.
Yeah.
So what does a lone wolf mean?
So interesting. So
did you say a lone wolf in a dream?
Yeah. So this wolf was in my dream. Oh, here we go. What does it mean? Okay. So what does it mean to be a lone wolf spiritually? So spiritually, is being a lone wolf means being a warrior. It means standing up for what you believe in and courageously walking into the wild unknown. Well, that's
what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. So then it's like, okay, well, it wasn't chasing me. I want to know.
Put like lone wolf in your dream.
Well, I did. There's so many different. Okay. I want to know what a gray wolf means because there's like a black wolf. I'm like, what does a gray wolf symbolize? Significance of gray wolves. It represents war, the spirit of war, freedom, speed, nature. According to their beliefs, when something happened to the Turkic nation, when a threat arises, the wolf appears and guides them. They place golden poles with wolf heads on top in front of their tents to protect them. Okay, that was not what I was looking for. But so wolves represent the wild, untamed, and mysterious aspects of life. A wolf in a dream could be your subconscious trying to bring your attention to something you haven't explored yet or understood in your walking life. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't as excitingly significant as I wanted it to be.
Well, I think overall the oracle card readings were pretty bang on as far as their message goes and what you shared, and especially in relation to our last episode. So I think it's pretty cool that there was some insight that I think was given from that reading. And I think that I don't know, maybe does it make you feel more at ease with
Oh, yeah.
it?
I mean, when I read stuff like that, I find a great sense of validation. I just feel validated. I feel
That's cool.
it's just funny because it comes to me too, right? As I'm looking at the card, like not necessarily does the description, like this is the beauty of these cards, is they're so faceted, right? It's different, like the colors have different meanings, you know, it has your chakra meaning, and then it has all the different, it's very intricate and it's very vast. So like the message,
there's a lot of interpretation. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And that's what I love about it.
And you link it to how you see it fits in your life. So
yeah.
Well, I think that was super cool.
I'm
glad that hopefully others enjoyed that.
Maybe this will be like a little segment we have on the side.
We'll do more. We'll do like little oracle card readings.
We'll see if anybody liked them.
If somebody wants to ask some anonymous questions, we do oracle card reading.
Yeah,
there's like a whole like freaking industry for that. So I don't know. We're probably maybe not the ones you want to come to for that.
Yeah, maybe not. We'll be really honest about it. So.
Well, thanks so much for sharing. That was super cool.
That was fun.
All right. We'll see everybody in the next one.
Yep. See ya.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit those subscribe and share buttons. We'll see you at the next one.